Welcome into another Garnet Trust interview, an exclusive today with Gamecock wide receiver Ahmarean Brown. And Ahmarean, it was funny because before we hopped on this, I went back and I listened to one of your first interviews as a Gamecock from a year ago.
Mhm.
It's crazy to think that a year ago, you were like a lot of your new teammates. You came in here going through the whole transfer portal situation. So I just want to start it off right there, right? What is that like when you play, especially another Power 5 school? You
Mhm.
transfer in, and then you basically are a freshman essentially all over again.
Yeah, like you said, it's like kind of like being a freshman all over again. Trying to get to know the guys. Football is all about relationships, and on the field, you got to know your teammate in order for you to be the best that you guys can be. So basically, I mean, they made it. I mean, they made it as smooth as possible. The coaches made it perfect. My teammates, I mean, some of the best teammates I ever had. Man, like you said, man, just coming in, it was kind of like getting the feel for things. I've never been to Columbia before. I'd never been to South Carolina before. So, that process was kind of new to me, like going back to high school, going into college, but it all turned out pretty well.
From a football standpoint, especially playing wide receiver, I mean, you want to talk about a position that timing is important, right? We could talk about the quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks are always going to get the shine. We know that.
Right.
But as a wide receiver, though, it's the kind of the same deal. You're trying to build a rapport with the quarterbacks. You're trying to figure out his timing. You're trying to figure out from a blocking standpoint, all right, how quick is the ball going to come out because of the offensive line?
Mm.
What's that process like when you do come in, knowing that, okay, I have experience. I've played at a Power 5 school before, but at the same time, I'm coming in and I'm kind of starting from ground zero all over again because I'm learning from a new quarterback.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's like the same thing. I mean, coming in even as a freshman or as a transfer, you still got to get to know your quarterbacks. You still got to get to know, your coaches and everything like that. I mean, timing and everything is crucial in any game or any practice. I mean, that's how things flow. So, I mean, coming in, it was kind of me just like starting from ground zero, like you say, and just getting to know everybody, getting to know the quarterbacks and the things that they like, and they can learn from me with the things that I like. And it's kind of building that connection. When I first came in and just trying to feel each other out, basically.
So you mentioned when you first got in here, right? And I can only imagine at times, right? Things might get frustrating because maybe you want to see from a statistical standpoint, you want to be able to do the things that you're capable of doing.
Right.
When you look back to last season, I think a lot of Gamecock fans are going to think about that Duke's Mayo Bowl, and I'm sure for you to be able to end the season the way that you did, you're probably like, see, I knew I was capable of doing this. I just didn't, whether I didn't get the time, or I didn't have the moment, whatever it may have been. When you look back to last season, what do you think? I wouldn't say held you back, but why don't you think you had that type of game that you did in the Duke's Mayo Bowl like you did the rest of the season? And like I said, I understand game plan, things can change each week, but when you kind of just evaluate year one as a Gamecock.
See, I'm a big believer of God. Last year, I feel like this just wasn't my moment. I feel like that was a year for me to learn. Coming from the ACC to the SEC, there's a big difference, like within the programs and things. So it was kind of a step for me to just step back a little bit and just reevaluate myself. And I prayed every day, and I guess that moment is not for me. It was time for my other teammates to shine, which I'm okay with. I'm here for anybody else, like me as a person. I'm always here for the next guy, and I want to see the next guy do the best they can. So I think that last year was just like a learning experience, something that I needed, something that has helped me today. That whole year really led up to me having that game in Duke's Mayo Bowl. The whole process of just sitting back, learning, and trying to teach others along the way, and trying to build myself up along the way that whole season. And I just think the Duke Mayo Bowl was it's kind of like a coming out party for last year, and just getting a glimpse of what I can do. And I'm just thankful that I had the year that I had. Whether that's not even having the stats, we had a good year as a team with Coach Beamer. So glad that we got a bowl win under his belt in his first year. Had some great success in his first year, and I'm just proud of that, man. I think just excited for next year, excited for this team, and ready to get it rolling.
Did you have a feeling going into that game that it could have been the game that you're going to have a breakout, or is that just how it kind of played out?
I think those 3 weeks leading up to the game, I had a feeling, but it wasn't like I knew it.
What was different? What was different, you think?
Different. What was different?
Because you guys kept things so in-house. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that we would go to practice to carry on would be with the receivers. I mean, you guys do. I mean, you guys, man, you duped us. It's all good. But we're going into that. And the reason why I asked that is because I used the carry on Joyner moment, and I look at that situation because from the outside, we didn't see that coming.
Right.
So from just a practice standpoint, was there anything leading up to that game? Because from the outside, we didn't see it. We didn't see anything different with you or just the way you guys were operating that made us think, hey, Brown might have a breakout game here, coming up.
Right. So, like you said, man, those few couple weeks, I knew that DK was going to be starting at quarterback. So, I was behind him. So I knew I'd be starting. I knew I'd get a shot. And I always know, like, once I get a shot, like, I'm going to make people like feel me. Like, I'm going to leave out of there. Like, somebody's going to know who I am when I leave out of there. So, like you said, that whole week we kept it a secret. But I think the difference was that I knew I was going to get a shot. I knew I was going to play a lot. And, that those 3 weeks, I was just getting my mind right. Like, this is what you came here for. These are for the moments that you wish for. So I was praying, and that time came. I'm, like I always say, man, I'm proud of DK, man. He finally got a shot, man. He did more than the best he could. He did a wonderful job. That's my boy. So I'm just proud of that moment for both of us.
And I'm sure you're not the type of person that would make excuses, but just to give us kind of a behind the scene look. When you have 3 different starting quarterbacks because of injuries, and then a 4th one, of course, which was by choice for to carry on as a wide receiver, how difficult does that make it? Not just specifically for you, but for all the wide receivers. So when you look back to last season, you guys were able to win 7 games,
right?
But it wasn't as easy as it was at times, right? I mean, you're going through so many different quarterbacks. There was other injuries, of course, and that's part of football. But just kind of explain to us that process from a receiver standpoint when the quarterbacks are changing. It seemed like musical chairs hopping around just because of the injury bug.
Right. So yeah, like you said, like different quarterbacks have different things they're good at, different things that they like more than others. So the coaches did a really good job of just changing things around, catering to the quarterbacks, and also us just buying in and understanding like these are things going to make us better as a team instead of single success. So I think that yeah, definitely like having 4 different quarterbacks was definitely tough on us. I mean, every game we just went out there and played the best we could, and we looked up and we had 7 wins. So I think that it's a testament to the coaches for, I guess, putting a game plan in front of us that will work. And yes, it was definitely hard on us. I can't sit here and lie. It was definitely hard on us. Weekend, here and there, just a different quarterback in there. But all the quarterbacks we played with did a good job when they were there. Zeb, JB, Luke, DK, all of them went in there and did what they had to do each game they were. So I think it was a good job, just not to us, but the coaches as well, is just putting together a good game plan and us going out there to execute.
You mentioned the quarterbacks. I got to ask it. And I'm going to ask you about Luke Doty first, because I think everyone, and don't get me wrong, rightfully so, everyone wants to talk about Spencer Rattler, but what we saw from Luke in the spring game was awesome, especially considering the fact of it wasn't that long ago that he was coming back from that surgery.
Right.
To be able to, number one, have that guy just in your locker room, regardless if he's starting, if he's not starting. Number one, what does Luke Doty do for your team? And then number 2, what have you seen since he has been back going through not just the spring game, but those 14 practices leading up to that spring game a couple weeks ago?
Right. Luke Doty is a fighter, man. That man, that's one person who is not going to give up on anything. If he has his mindset, he doesn't matter if somebody comes in, somebody's leaving, he's going to put his foot down and he's going to do what he has to do. To this day, we still talk about the show that Luke put on in the spring game. I was on his team, man. I was proud of Luke, man. It's always tough when you got a guy coming in, at your position, especially if he's coming in starting. And, I know that he felt some type of way about it. But each and every day, Luke came in and worked. Each and every practice, Luke came in and worked. He never had his head down. He was still, like, the crazy thing is he was still the same person he was last year when he was starting. He's still lifting people up. He's still getting on people when he has to. And, he was still himself. And that's just a testament to him and his parents on how he was raised and how he grew up and the things that he's been through, that he's a fighter. Like, he's not going to give up on anything that he has his mind to. And, when Luke says he's going to do something, as we can see, he's going to do it. So just a testament to him and the work that he's put in to get to this point. And I just think he's going to keep growing.
And the reason why I want to ask about Luke is because I feel like we're talking a lot about Spencer. And like I said, rightfully so. We understand what he's capable of doing, and Gamecock fans are very excited about him, but definitely don't want to overlook Luke. But since I asked about Luke, I got to ask about Spencer. And there's obviously a lot of buzz around him. There's no question about it. We know what he's capable of doing. What just makes him special? I mean, we got to see a glimpse of it in the spring game. We had a chance to as the media with the limited time at practice that we got to see throughout the spring with him. But what makes him so special after working with him now for the last couple months?
I think he's a difference maker. He has confidence in himself that he's going to make any play at any given moment. Like I said about Luke, Spencer has a lot of confidence in himself, and like Luke, when Spencer has his mind on something, he's going to go do it. I mean, he had flashes of throws in practice. We're like, "Whew, okay, like, oh, like we're going to have something this year." And like I said, man, both of them guys went in there and worked. Spencer is a great quarterback. I think he's going to have a great year this year. Like we saw at Oklahoma, he can do a lot of things on his feet. He can, roll around and make plays. He has a talented arm, and I think that, he's just going to grow as well. And then, we're going to see what he does this year. It's going to be definitely exciting.
I asked you at the beginning of the interview about coming in a year ago, the transfer process, right? Transfer portal.
Right.
When you came here a year ago, could you imagine that the program would be where it is after 1 year from Shane Beamer and this coaching staff coming in here? And how much confidence did you have making that decision? And then just looking back at where they were a year ago in comparison to where you guys are right now, and the buzz around this team heading into his second season as head coach.
Right. So, yeah, before I came, me and Coach Beamer talked. I knew he had a game plan for this year. And, from the jump, I believed in him. Me and him sat on a Zoom call for 2 hours, before a couple of days before I committed here. And, he was basically, talking and telling me about the plan that he had and the plan he had for me. And, everything that he said to me became true. Like, they went from a 2-win team to a 7-win team this year within a year. Like, that is something a lot of coaches can't do. Him coming in from Oklahoma, first year as a head coach, I knew it was tough on him. It's his first year head coaching. He has to manage a whole team. He's never done this before. And, each and every day he just puts in work. Coach Beamer is there at 5:00 every day, working out. Every time we walk in the building, we see Coach Beamer, he's doing something, man. He's just working. Each and every coach can tell you, man, he's a worker. Like, he's a hard worker. He just does everything that he preaches. And, we can't do nothing but respect him as a leader and as a head coach.
How do you guys make sure that you don't have that type of hangover, right? I know you guys didn't win a championship last year or even a conference title, but like you said, being able to get 7 wins, you look at the 2 previous seasons combined before Coach Beamer got here, before you even got here, 6 wins combined. That buzz, the excitement is back in the city. And as someone that's covered the team for the last 6 years, I can tell you that I haven't felt this buzz in all 6 years that I've been here. So how do you guys manage that knowing, okay, 7 wins, that was great, but we can't be satisfied because all that means is the bar has been risen?
Oh, yeah. Man, last year we talk about it all the time. We could have won more than 7 games. We had a lot of close games that we should, especially Kentucky at home. We definitely should have pulled that one out. A few games that were like the scores were large, but it's certain plays in those games that if we would have made or if we would have called, that would have changed the whole aspect of the game. So I think that, we know we can be way much better than 7 wins. So I don't think that we're leaning on those. Like, we know that 7 wins is like the bare minimum. Like, a bowl game is the bare minimum. We should be, reaching way higher than that. And that's all of our goals. And, we plan to do that plus more.
We mentioned Spencer Rattler, but I mean, even some of the new guys from the ACC, right? Terrell Dawkins. You could talk about CBS, Christian Beal-Smith. You can go down the list and go back to Oklahoma, Austin Stogner, all the new guys coming in. What advice would you give those guys in terms of being able to come here, to be able to get things a little bit moving quicker than maybe you would have liked a year ago, so that they can be able to get in here and be able to help make an impact quickly?
I would say, just learn from us, see the things that we do, maybe right or even wrong that they don't have to go through, just for things to be smoother. I mean, just leaning on us, man. I mean, everybody in that locker room is there to help. All the coaches are there to help. Just use everybody. Like, I know a lot of people came from organizations that weren't as like coach friendly, or like they couldn't go to their coaches and talk about things and, that sort of nature. But, this coach staff and this team are welcoming. Like, you can go to their houses, you can, go get food with them or something. Like, like these coaches like want to be there for you. So I would say just use everybody like in the organization. Talk to people, go to little events, go to, whatever they have on campus or anything like that with teams and everything like that, and just use your resources and network and things like that. Just get with Gamecock Nation and the fans or whoever it is, and just explore options and things like that. Just get connected basically with everybody.
I know it's not in stone yet. You and I were talking about before we hopped on. You got a clothing line? Something coming out soon, you think?
Yeah, about a month or so. I'll probably be dropping some merch, so be on the lookout for it. See what happens.
Some clothes, hats, or just in general? Might not be necessarily clothes and hats.
Yeah, right now, making a few shirts, maybe some hood, things like that.
Okay. Well, Gamecock fans, be on the lookout for that, and be sure to continue to support the Garnet Trust so you can help support athletes like Ahmarean Brown here and the rest of his Gamecock teammates and the rest of South Carolina athletes. And in addition, when you do that, you have an opportunity to be able to ask these student athletes a question. And today, that question is coming from Rick Sharp. He's going old school. He's saying, we rarely hear about the 40-yard dash times anymore. Are you the fastest wide receiver on the team? If not, who is?
I think I'm the fastest, man. I think once we get, the pro day and the combine, hopefully we're gonna see what that 40 is talking about, man. We're gonna see how fast I am.
Well, and I gotta ask you this. This isn't a question from a Garnet Trust member, but I know a lot of people are gonna want to know about this. Compare the speed, man. Compare the speed to the SEC to the ACC, because SEC people love talking about it. So I got to ask you, you've had a chance to play in both conferences.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a bit faster. I can't lie about it. It's definitely a bit faster. Man, you see SEC for, 17 straight years had the most draft picks in the draft?
Mm-hmm. Again.
I mean, there's a difference, man. The speed is definitely different.
I said that was going to be the last one, but I mean, shoot, you bring it up. I mean, to see some of your teammates be able to get drafted, and I'm sure there's guys would be good going back to Georgia Tech or just other schools that you've built relationships with. How neat is that, though, to be able to see that, especially your Gamecock teammates?
Oh man, it's fun, man. Just all of us dream of that moment, and for some, like for it to come true. I mean, I like to this day, I still dream like how am I gonna like respond once I get that call or whatever, man. It's just great, man. I'm so proud of the guys who got drafted and even the ones who were undrafted. Just getting that shot, man. I know all the Gamecock fans are there for them. We're there for them. We know how they work. Even my former teammates from Georgia Tech, man, I'm proud of those guys. A lot of people from Tampa, Florida got drafted. That's good to see for the city. Just proud, man. I couldn't do nothing but smile, on draft day, on draft night, seeing those guys' name go across the board, talked a lot about it, with a lot of those guys, man. It was a proud moment, man. I'm just super proud.
You mentioned smiles. Gamecock fans hope there's going to be a lot to smile about this upcoming season. Crazy to think that we are, I think about 100-something days away. It'll be here before you know. But, Mary, appreciate you taking the time, man. And, again, continue to support the Garnet Trust so you can support student athletes like this man right here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.